King Charles just signed his name on a new rule. With this one single action, the future of the royal family is going to change forever. The rule was very clear and strict. It said that any child who wants to stay in line to become king or queen must be raised all the time in the United Kingdom. They must be under the direct watch of the royal family. There are no exceptions, no special treatment, no shortcuts. As soon as that rule was made, everyone knew exactly who it would hurt first. It would hurt Archie and Lilibet, the children of Harry and Meghan. These children were born with royal blood, but they are growing up far away from the royal palaces. They live in California. They have never been part of the daily life at the palace. They do not follow royal schedules. They are not growing up inside the system that teaches future leaders how to act. Inside the palace, people did not see this as just a boring office update. They saw it as a big statement. It was a statement that the monarchy was drawing a line in the sand. It meant that being close by is now more important than feelings. For Meghan, this was not just a small change in the rules. It felt like a door was slamming shut in her face. This wasn't about paperwork or manners. It was about whether her children would be seen as part of the royal story at all. In one strong move, the monarchy made its position very clear, and this was only the beginning. That first rule alone was enough to shake everything up, but then came the second rule. King Charles approved another condition, and this one hurt even more. From now on, only the children of active working royals will stay in the line of succession. This means it is not just about blood or birth anymore. It is about service. If a royal does not show up for work, represent the crown, and serve the people, their children lose their place. This is where the past came rushing back. In 2020, Harry and Meghan made a choice. They decided to step away from their royal jobs. They chose to be independent instead of following their duties. At that time, they called it freedom. But under this new system, that decision has permanent consequences. Their children no longer fit into the plan. It is not because of a scandal or a punishment. It is because the rules have changed. 2 rules, 2 strikes, both pointing the same way. This wasn't an accident or chaos. It was done on purpose. Officially, the palace said none of this was personal. Behind closed doors, helpers called it a structural update. They said it was a way to make the monarchy smaller and stronger for the future. They wanted to stop confusion, but the structure sends a message. The message was loud and cold. The monarchy was done bending the rules. They were done stretching things to help people who were far away. They were done carrying parts of the family that didn't live inside the system. This wasn't revenge, it was reorganization. Reorganization always shows what is most important: who stays close, who fades away, who belongs to the future, and who becomes history. For Meghan, it felt like her children were being erased. For the palace, it was about order. Just like that, the line was drawn. But this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the first move. For Meghan, this was never just about having fancy titles. That is the part many people don't understand. This was about belonging. It was about recognition. It was about whether her children would be seen as real parts of a family history she believed they were born into. From her point of view, these rule changes didn't feel fair or neutral. They felt targeted. They were too specific and timed too perfectly. 2 rules were written after she and Harry left. Both rules landed directly on her children. To Meghan, that didn't look like an accident. It looked like erasure. She believed the palace wasn't just fixing the monarchy. They were quietly writing her family out of it. The more the palace said it wasn't personal, the more personal it felt to her. When rules are changed after you leave and those rules only hurt your children, it doesn't feel like an improvement. It feels like a message. And Meghan heard that message loud and clear. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any colder, the palace made another move. This one was much more unsettling. They started a formal clarity review. Usually, reviews like this are boring checks of paperwork done quietly by office staff, but this one was different from the start. This review wasn't done by regular workers. It involved experts on the Constitution, legal advisors, historians, and people who know the laws of succession perfectly. You only see a team like that when there is a serious argument or when the results could last for many generations. The review focused on everything connected to Harry, Meghan, and their children. They looked at birth papers, medical proofs, timelines, and details about eligibility that were never checked this closely before. Nobody made accusations or acted mean, but the message was clear. The monarchy was tightening its grip and removing any tiny bit of uncertainty. While all of this was happening, another person moved quietly to the center of the story. That person is Prince William. For many years, William stayed in the background. He learned, watched, and prepared. But now, insiders say he has stepped into a much stronger role. He is no longer just the future king. He is becoming the protector of the institution. People close to the palace describe him as firm and focused. He is completely unwilling to put up with instability. After years of interviews, accusations, and public drama with Harry and Meghan, William's patience has run out. He doesn't see this as a personal fight. He sees it as his responsibility. One advisor said it simply: William will cut off a limb to save the body. Where Harry stepped away, William stepped forward. Where Meghan challenged the system, William made it stronger. and where King Charles started changing the monarchy, William is getting ready to finish the job. The message inside the palace walls is clear. The crown will not let chaos continue into the next generation. At this point, Meghan didn't just feel shut out. She felt trapped in a corner. That is when the conversation changed from feelings to laws. Behind the scenes, Meghan started talking to lawyers. She didn't just talk to lawyers in California. She talked to lawyers in the United Kingdom too. She wanted real answers. She wanted to know if the monarchy had the legal right to change the succession rules in a way that hurt her children. Specifically, she started looking at the 1701 Act of Settlement. This is a very old and important law that has shaped royal inheritance for over 300 years. To Meghan, the timing of these new rules felt deliberate. It felt too precise and convenient. She believed the monarchy wasn't just modernizing. She thought they were reacting to her and Harry leaving by rewriting the rules around their kids. The palace, of course, said the changes were necessary and neutral. They said they were long overdue. But from Meghan's view, neutrality disappeared the moment her children became the only ones left out. And once lawyers get involved, nothing stays quiet anymore. Here is where the story becomes painful. If Meghan decides to fight this legally, Harry cannot stay in the middle. A legal fight forces people to pick sides, and they have to do it in public. If Harry stands with Meghan, he stands against his own family in court. He would be under close watch, with documents and stories laid out for everyone to see. If he stands with the palace, he breaks the promise he made to never abandon Meghan. There is no easy way out here. There is no compromise that saves everyone. Sources say Harry feels the pressure building up. Every choice feels heavy. Every path is permanent. He is a husband trying to protect his family. He is a son watching the gates of his past close shut. He is a prince without a home base. Two worlds are pulling him in opposite directions, and he can only make one choice. By now, there is no confusion about where everyone stands. On one side, the monarchy is closing its ranks. Rules are being rewritten. Titles are being redefined. Succession is being realigned. A clarity review is digging through the past with quiet precision. King Charles is not bending anymore. William is not compromising. The institution is choosing order over emotion. On the other side stands Meghan. She is determined and furious. She is ready to fight for what she believes her children were born into. To her, the rule changes feel like erasure. The clarity review feels like an invasion. The distance between California and London feels wider than ever. And standing right between these two powerful forces is Harry. He's being pulled so tightly that something has to break. This is the moment before everything cracks open. If Meghan moves forward, the monarchy will be forced to respond. They won't respond with statements. They will respond with evidence, documents, and testimony. They will open up private history that the royal family has kept sealed for generations. Once that door opens, there is no going back to peace. This stops being a family argument and becomes a constitutional storm. The future of two royal children becomes the center of a historic reckoning. The monarchy is preparing to move on. Meghan is preparing to fight back. And Harry is preparing for the hardest choice of his life. Whatever happens next will not be quiet. It will not be gentle. And it will not be easily undone, because this isn't the end of the story. This is the spark. It is the moment before the explosion.